Doomsday. Armageddon. The end of all things and life as we know it. Minty is no longer cold spicy, ice cream is hot, everyone has to travel on the bus but all the seats are taken so you have to stand around like a hanging piece of meat. We find out we all actually see different colours. Dogs and cats living together. It's hell on earth essentially. So realistically, why aren't we all preparing for it? I don't really know, to be honest. But today we will be watching a family preparing for Doomsday in the most intense way possible. They are building a Doomsday Castle. That's right, a castle. In preparation for the days of the doom. Because castles are notorious for being easy to defend, they're great fortresses back in the year 3. Now we have much more potent explosives and guns that can tear through towns in seconds. But then again, in an apocalypse situation, where would you find those types of things? Then again, this is in America, so basically any street corner is any Doomsday prepper's dream. I'm joking, Americans, I promise. But before we get into the sweet, juicy, tenderized meat of this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel so I can keep bringing this type of content for all you guys. So let's get into episode 1 of Doomsday Castle.
If Doomsday were to happen tomorrow, none of you are really prepared. Protect yourself and survive! Protect yourself and survive!
You're building this to keep your family safe, but it seems like you guys are the danger.
I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
You've got all the guns and stuff. You guys are probably most likely to become the hunters, raiders, bounty hunters, or whatever in the apocalypse. And I can't tell if that's terrifying or really cool.
I know there's a lot of people that may look at us as a family, or even my dad in particular, and say, this guy's crazy.
See now, step back and look at the situation. Is he crazy? He's just building the perfect safe space in case the world goes to shit, and he's just ensuring the safety of his family if anything does happen. And they say that getting this castle finished is his, it's the one thing he wants before he dies. And I think that's nice. The only thing he wants before he dies is to make sure his family is safe in case the world goes kaput. So is he crazy, or is he the perfect dad? I'd say he's a mix of both, to be honest.
You know, I've noticed that society's kind of hanging by a thread. I come up here and work on this place, and I know that it's going to be essential to survive.
How is society hanging by a thread? It's not like if one person doesn't hold the door open for someone, then all of a sudden the world just descends into chaos. And what doomsday are they preparing for? Zombies? A castle could help against zombies. A nuclear apocalypse? A castle is not going to help with that whatsoever. A gamma ray blast? The whole of humanity does not stand a chance against that. And the issue with this castle is that it's on a hill and surrounded by woodland, which you would think for a castle those would be two very good things. You're on a hill, you can see anything that's coming, you're surrounded by woodland so you're more hidden. But people could see that castle from miles away and head there for refuge, for food, for whatever, and any would-be attackers could easily just camp out in the little forest area around there. They could use the woodland for cover to sneak up and case out the castle so they know how to attack you and when's best. Well, I don't know, I'm not a castle expert, this is just, I'm trying to have a survivor mindset for this.
I'm a city boy, I'm a beachcomber, but I'm the oldest son, and I think that my dad needs me to really make this castle even bigger and better than he could ever imagine it.
It's called Brent II, not Brent Jr., Brent II. Again, I can't tell if that's cool or insane. Just like this entire scenario. And is it just me, or is he low-key terrifying? Looks like he would stab you in the liver 72 times and not look phased at all. And he wants to make the castle bigger and better than his dad had ever imagined it being. So does that mean he's gonna strap flamethrowers to the doors and have a cauldron of boiling hot tar just hanging over the door in case anybody tries to get in? Giant miniguns on all sides of the castle, so if anybody's coming up they can just tear them to shreds? Because then I would believe it's the perfect safe haven in an apocalypse.
My children's children are gonna ask their parents, who is this man that built this castle and left it to us to protect us. When the end times come, they will all know that there is a place of safe haven for them to come to that has been provided for that man that they may never have ever met.
Okay, so he isn't necessarily doing it for his immediate family and kids, he's doing it for generations down the line. I think that's quite noble. He's putting on all this hard work, all this time, to make sure his family is set for generations and generations. So his family will always have a safe place to go if the worst did happen. And if Doomsday did come up, going to this castle will be a huge family gathering of sorts. But what if too many people show up? Like a bunch of cousins, aunties, uncles, their families? Or is it just his kids and their kids and so on? But even then, I don't think there will be enough space for generations down the line. Families spread, families get big as hell, man. Okay, here's our first proper look at the castle. And from what I can see, where they're planning on putting the ceiling in would make it very impractical to use those battlements. I think that's what I'm called. You know, the bits of the wall that go down like that, so you can like put your bow and arrow through. Excuse me. Put your bow and arrow through and shoot everyone. Because it looks like you would have to like properly kneel down or sit down just to even get your gun into the battlement, and to have proper cover from any incoming fire from the enemy. Just doesn't seem practical. But again, I'm no expert, I'm not a castle man. So all of the family has put their lives on hold to build this thing, where there's no Wi-Fi, there's no society anywhere near them. So let's just get back into what they're saying.
If you look at dysfunctional families in the world, we rank #1. You know, being that there's split families, 5 in the original, 5 in the second family, that adds to the dysfunction.
And I'm the only kid here from the first family.
Oh, Brent, you dirty dog. Getting 2 families with 5 kids in each families? Brent's got super sperm to get 10 kids. 10 kids that we know of, at least. Do you think those families overlapped? Like he had a double life of 2 completely different families? This reminds me of a story, actually. I've been listening to a bunch of old episodes of the TMG podcast. There's one story that Noel Miller on the podcast tells, where when he was a kid, his neighbour, who he always thought seemed a bit weird and a bit shifty, you know? And every morning this dude would leave his house in the most nondescript work uniform possible. You know, say goodbye to his wife and just go off to work. Seems normal, seems fine. But it turned out, when he was going off to work, he was actually going off to see his girlfriend. So he would spend the day with his girlfriend, come back to his wife at the night time, saying to his girlfriend that he had the night shift at work, but he was actually going home to his wife. So he was just borrowing and leeching money off of these 2 poor women. They eventually both found out about it, and they were both financially ruined by this dude. And I just don't know how you get to that point in life where you can have such a double life like that. Just what happens for you to be in a position where you've got 2 completely different families, and I just don't get it. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. But check out Noel Miller's channel though. He is very funny, and his boy Cody Co. They're 2 of my favourite YouTubers. But anyway, let's get back to this then.
My biggest fear is an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse.
Oh, so he's preparing for an EMP, which in case you don't know what an EMP is, it's an electromagnetic pulse that effectively just wipes out any electrical signals in the affected area. So as you can imagine, if everything electronic just stopped, there would be a lot of chaos. But if he's doing this for generations in advance, if an EMP goes off, how is anybody going to get to the castle? Because in the future, surely everything's going to be like electric cars and everything. EMP is going to completely wipe out any electric cars, I imagine. Again, I'm no expert. And planes and stuff would not be able to go off. So how is anybody expected to even get back to the state to get to the castle? And what if when they get there, some other family or other group of people have already taken it over? So they have to besiege and try and fight back to get their own castle, but they wouldn't be able to do it because you guys made it the most perfect and impenetrable fortress ever.
I don't know why, but God is telling me, get ready because something's gonna happen.
Really? God is telling you that? In 2013? Yeah. Well, this was about 7 years too early. But even then, this castle would not have been needed in this whole situation that we found ourselves in.
Y'all have been living the good life, and you need to change. You can't be what you were in the past. It's not being on the cell phone. It's not being on the internet. It's a different mindset.
Brett too already looks like he's got that killer mindset. Looks like he would flay the skin off your arm for just not putting a coaster down.
Today is their first test. They'll find that this is as real as it gets.
I thought there was an EMP. I thought, like, all cars would be useless if an EMP went off. I thought they would all have been fried up too. But even then, would a fully armed militia with guns, explosive, dogs, multiple battalions really be trying to siege a castle? If this is that much of a problem, then why make a big castle? Surely you'd want to hide it. Like, just a bunker would be 50 times easier to hide than this. Then you wouldn't have to worry about people attacking you anywhere near as much.
I have 20 masked marauders, friends of mine, looking like it's the army of Armageddon.
Why are you friends with 20 masked marauders, Brent? What weird crowds are you involved in? It's kind of scary though. You accidentally nudge into him and all these dudes just come down on you.
I planned a classic military maneuver. Explosions to confuse, smoke screens to disorient, a frontal attack to overwhelm, and then bring troops around the side and outflank anyone that might escape.
See, in the end of days, would they have access to all of that gear in order to even pull off such an assault with all these tactics and explosions for confusion and stuff? But then again, I need to keep remembering, this is America. I need to stop thinking with a British brain. So during this attack, Brent too is a hero and sacrifices himself to let his sister escape. Whoa, you see that roll? That's some good ass form. Okay, Michael. Okay. I'll see how it's going to be, my guy. And this whole attack would not be representative of how an actual attack would go down, though, would it? I know the point is to catch them off guard and, like, prove to them that they're not ready for an apocalypse situation. But isn't the whole point of this castle so that you can have the defenses and everything ready for when the time comes? So if an apocalypse does happen, you'll obviously always be prepared and ready for it because you're constantly on the lookout. And if you're building this for generations to come, I don't think these guys are going to be teaching their children the same types of things you're teaching your children, Brent. So whichever generation actually does have to live in this castle won't know any of the survival skills or building skills or whatever that Brent's teaching them. So they won't be prepared for the attack either.
I'm fending for myself. I'm running as far down this mountain as I possibly can. I'm trying to prove to my dad that at least one of his girls can get away. Somebody's got to reproduce.
Why are the camera guys always so far ahead of her to get these dope action shots of her running? That camera guy is fast as hell. And she really said,
somebody's got to reproduce.
You are in Armageddon. Society has collapsed. And the world as you know it is dead, along with millions of other people. And you're just thinking about getting piped down. Weird as hell.
Really put in perspective in my mind that this could happen at any time. And we are so unprepared.
No, it couldn't happen any time. You won't be in the cinema watching In the Heights, and suddenly a squad of 20 rednecks all just run in and try to kidnap you there and then. I've only been to America once, so I don't know what type of stuff you guys have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So their first order of business is to build a door, and to keep in fitting with the medieval castle aesthetic, they're building a drawbridge. And the whole point of a drawbridge is to get over a moat, so they're going to need a moat. And by looking at what I assume are the markings for the moat, it is not going to be a big enough moat to keep anybody out. Just a small leap and you're over that thing easily. And if they have any explosives, can they not just blow up the walls and just breach and clear Rainbow Six style?
The bunker was approximately 2,000 square feet, all underground. It has 12-inch reinforced solid concrete walls and 8-inch concrete reinforced ceiling.
So there is a bunker. I was thinking that a bunker would obviously be way better. And they say that this is their living space. So what's the point in the whole castle if you're just going to be living down there? Surely if you just invested all your money and time and effort into building a bigger and better bunker, you would have the absolute perfect safe haven. Plus you could perfectly hide your bunker entrance in like putting a proper tree stump around it or whatever. No one's ever going to find that, so you won't have to worry about any attacks. And then you could just focus all your time on making the bunker self-sustainable, so you can just live for generations and generations underground without the fear of anything. But Michael has been asked to help with the drawbridge, so Madman Brent is not too happy about being sent to the bunker with the 3 girls, because he's a man. He wants to hunt and play sports and eat meat, not clean like a lowly woman. I'm joking. I'm joking. Women, you can hunt, play sports and eat meat as well if you really want to.
And it looks like we need to reinforce the front door so nobody can get in. All I see is a little tiny lock on that.
There's just a normal goddamn door? I know that you need a quick alternative escape route, but not just a normal ass door. I thought Brent was a Doomsday Prepper specialist. So the bunker has the main entrance, the back entrance, and a bunch of windows. And I think the windows in a bunker are just inexcusable. What if someone just throws a canister of mustard gas or something through the window? What are you gonna do? They've obviously got the place surrounded, you can't go out any of the doors, you just gotta sit in the mustard gas. Or just someone just slide tackles their way in. They could breach and clear that so quickly if they are anywhere near as militant as Brent is expecting them to be. So Brent and Michael start working on the drawbridge, when they realise that they will need to reinforce it with some steel to stop any bullets going in. So they do some tests to see how thick they need the steel to be.
The guns we're going to test today are ones we would normally find in the mountains. So in the end of days, these are the weapons coming against us.
Talking about guns so nonchalantly, I can't imagine just having guns laying around like that. In Britain, we just have sword fights in a field at dusk to settle our differences. I think it works a lot better.
Well, hey, Rambo!
Did you notice anything during that whole thing? The only shots we see him take during this whole testing phase, he didn't hit any of those shots. Or he just isn't actually shooting. All through this bit, it cuts away as soon as he goes to shoot. And it shows a perfect shot. So something is fishy about that.
Hey, like that.
Well, Brent seems really entertained by that. Just look at that smile. That's a weird thing to say when you literally hit nothing, my guy. But I'm going to have to let you off because of that sick parkour roll you did earlier. But you're on thin ice. You're on thin ice, Michael. Brent 2 and Dawn go to steal some scrap from a random old dude's house. They just walk in and start taking stuff. And this next clip is just amazing. I think it just has such perfect comedic timing.
Don Marie and I were loading up all of our supplies from the junkyard.
Just listen to that defeated scream. Ah! Ah! He then, for some reason, decides that they need a tractor when they definitely do not need a tractor. And listen to his amazing bartering skills in this next clip.
How much is something like this?
About 5,000.
I got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Every penny I got. Would you work with me?
Well, I guess I could take that.
My guy talked him down from 5k to $100 without even trying. That's amazing. Well, these guys have been doing all this. The girls have been in the bunker tidying up, so there's been a lot of bickering and stuff, and it is explained perfectly in this next clip.
You know, Lindsay's a Gemini, and I'm more of the don't take everything so seriously, have fun.
For anyone who blames their own and somebody else's behaviour based on their star sign, just grow up, man. Just because Jupiter is 2 more meters to the right in space, thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away, does not mean I'm going to be slightly more cranky today. So guess my star sign, and I will actually be very impressed if you guess it correctly. Michael then messes up the centering of the door hinges. So at this point, that parkour roll does not save him. He's a stupid now. He is a single stupid. Actually, yeah, I'll give him one more chance. But just one. If you mess up just one more time, whoa. Oh, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know what I'm going to do if you mess up one more time, Michael. Oh my. Hey, Brent. You want me to be your third family? Sure. I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me there. I just saw Brent like that and I just Just couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. Sorry. Brent fortifies the back door in the bunker, and he tests it like this.
It's hard to get in. Can't get in. When we finished the door, I wanted to test it out.
But the way he fortified it is in such a way that it stops you from pulling the door open, because there's the metal bar there. So testing it by ramming it like that is not testing his fortification. That's just testing how strong the door already was. So yeah, that test is just pointless. And then Brent goes off, decides to turn his tractor into a sort of battering ram to try and test the strength of the drawbridge. But we'll get more on that later.
Mechanical advantages using a small amount of strength amplified by pulleys and levers to lift something. And today we're using mechanical advantage to lift a 2,000-pound drawbridge.
Look how happy he is with that chain. It looks so much fun. And that door is 2,000 pounds. What is that in kilograms? 907 kilograms? Jesus Christ, that is insane. And yes, I'm measuring it in kilograms. Be glad that I'm not one of the English people that measures things in stone. I really do not understand how or why people measure things in stone. Like, oh, I weigh 7.5 stone. What is that? You have multiple sizes of stones. It's just like how one horse actually has 5 horsepower. What's the point in that? So Brent 2 goes to Brent 1 and challenges him and challenges the drawbridge and just gets laughed at.
You gotta be kidding. Tested with what? I'll tell you what, you're more than welcome to try.
Oh god, did you see how he was looking? He's gonna rip his head off. Run away, Brent! He really thinks he's gonna be able to take down that drawbridge with a tractor. Do you think he can do it? We will find out next time in part 2 of this video. So we'll see now.
All right, ladies, you ready for lights out?
Good night, we love you.
All right, Brent, you want to hit the switch for us?
What is that bed setup? Why is Brent so high? And why is Michael on such an angle? I thought they tidied this place up. They get the drawbridge up and Brent tests it in the most efficient way possible. Very effective. And now we get a look at the tractor battering ram. The only thing that can take down the ultimate drawbridge. The only thing that can destroy this perfect fortress. Now let's see this beast. Oh, that's disappointing. But he's really confident in its ability, so let's see how effective it is. Yeah, there's no hope for that. So they get the steel up on the drawbridge, and the only way to test it is to shoot at it, of course.
So that's a success
It's
then.
splintered and pushed that wood from the inside out, but it's definitely in there. She didn't go through.
It didn't go through, but it splintered the wood, which is good, but surely that steel and board need to be replaced now. They probably should have tested that part before they pulled it up and everything. But now, we get to see the new and improved Door-Ram Mark II. This beast will rip apart the castle like no one's business, I swear. Surely this beast, new and improved, is gonna just rip apart the castle.
And then I hear the roar of some engine and
Yeah, it looks really stupid. There's no goddamn way that's gonna work.
What are you doing? Oh my god!
I never did take him seriously. I didn't think he had the ingenuity to do it.
Ingenuity? You think it took a lot of ingenuity to cut down 2 trees and sharpen them a bit and tie them to an old tractor? I thought you would be a lot harder to impress, to be honest. But this is the moment. He's gonna take down that door and leave nothing but rubble behind him. I believe he's gonna do it!
Hey, get over here, get over here!
Obviously it wasn't going to work. You really believed it would? And one thing I noticed, where is the bullet hole? You can't tell me that this is staged, right? That is the end of episode 1 of Doomsday Castle. I think it was actually pretty fun. Probably do another part and look at the second episode, and we'll make our way through all 8 episodes of this series. So let's have a look at what we can expect in the next episode while we've already got the video up.
This is tear gas. You have 30 seconds.
This season on Doomsday Castle.
Cool, Lens!
Yeah, it looks batshit insane. Did they use a trebuchet? They're going full on medieval on this castle, that's awesome. So this could be a fun little series for us all. If you do want me to do a second part, please let me know in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe for more content, and please check out my other videos on the channel. I've got some good ones now. So I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.